Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Writing in Cars with Books. I'm Jaclyn,
And I'm Phillip.
and today we're going to be discussing Roaming by the Tamaki cousins, Jillian and Mariko. And bonus points because we met them at SPX last weekend and they signed it for me. See, it's got my name in it.
She was the one that waited in line. I did not.
He did not want to wait in line.
I was too busy talking to Dennis Kitchen.
But he got his picture taken talking to Dennis Kitchen. So I guess that's a win in your book.
Yeah, I'm an SPX article.
Anyway, Roaming, it's a pretty chunky one, but it didn't take that long to read it.
No, it was. There was a lot of visuals. This is a book, once again, a lot of people seem to read graphic novels and forget to look at the pictures because the pictures are a big part of the story. And so if you do that, you're going to miss a lot of this book.
So this book is published by Drawn and Quarterly. It is a coming of age story, so there's not really much plot. It's just the characters going through their life, and it is suitable for a young adult audience, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the high level principle or the high level part of this book is basically three kids on college break going to New York City
for the
first time and hanging out and being there for, is it a week?
Yeah, it's like a week.
Yeah, it's like a week. So it's a week of these three people's lives in New York.
So they're Canadians, so they definitely, that plays a part in it, right?
Yes.
That has to do with the title too. They're two best friends, and then, oh my gosh, what are their names?
Oh,
I want to call them Jillian and Mariko because it's like I envision the characters as them because of how it's written. But Danny and Zoe are best friends, and they've been wanting to visit New York forever. So they go, and Danny brings along her new classmate Fiona. So this is Fiona, and
which is named very well.
I thought she looked like a Fiona.
Yes. Whatever that's supposed to look like, that's this.
Yeah. So Danny and I already forgot her name, Zoe. Have like this whole, travel itinerary, and Fiona kind of puts a what's the word I'm looking for? I'm like losing my words today. She changes their plans, and Danny just assumed that she would ditch them when they got to New York, but she thought Zoe was kind of cool, so she sticks around and they all hang out. And Danny wants to do things a certain way, and Zoe's just going with the flow.
I understand Danny.
Yeah.
I understand Danny a lot.
We travel like Danny. We plan everything. So we go on their journey with them. They go to museums and, Times Square, like all the staples that you want to see. Oh, and this book takes place in 2009. So there's also that. The setting is also the time that it takes place. And just seeing New York for the first time through young teenager eyes was kind of cool, because I was an adult when I went to New York for the first time and probably experienced it completely different than someone that's in college.
Right.
So you're basically traveling to New York with these ladies.
And Fiona causes lots of issues.
Yeah, she is just kind of flaky and doesn't really care about other people's feelings.
And she talks like she's experienced.
Oh yeah, she
seems
like a 30-year-old woman. Like she's just like, whatever.
It's that type of person.
Yeah. So
whether they've done any of this stuff or not, she's telling you that she's done all of this stuff.
And I think Jillian and Mariko kind of based this story on their own experience coming to New York as teenagers, and that's how I want to read it. So that's why I'm having a hard time separating them from the characters. That's just me. But I enjoyed it just because I love coming of age stories, and the art is typical Jillian art. I like the color palette. It's very
it's
simple.
All soothing, right?
It is.
It's not like anything that's like slamming you or like really bright or vibrant.
You really get the essence of New York and where they go, though. Like parts of the museums, you really are really captured. Yeah. Like her favorite statue is this gumball.
Because they went to the New York Arts Museum.
Yeah, because I think one of them wants to be an artist. I wonder which one.
It was the main one.
They're all main ones. What do you mean?
I disagree.
You think Danny's the main character?
I think Danny's the main character.
Well, Danny's the one based on Jillian, so...
Danny, to me, is the main character in this, mainly because she's the one that's kind of set everything this up with her best friend, and she brought along... Fiona, and then, like, she's the one that kind of gets left out in pieces.
Yeah.
I feel like that she's... I mean, granted, if you were...
And she was more relatable for me.
Right. Yeah, like the other two may be a main character for someone else, but I think Danny, to me, is...
Their side story is the side story that spun the rest of the story out of control.
Correct.
So, they kind of fall for each other, spoiler alert. And there's
Fiona and
Zoe.
Zoe, right.
They fall
Not
for
Danny.
each other. No.
Danny's had enough of that crap.
Yeah, she's like, no, I'm leaving. But I like the play on roaming because I don't know if you remember back in the day of 2009 when, especially like going out of the country, I'm sure like you don't want to pay an astronomical amount for a phone bill.
Right.
And I mean, cell phones just weren't what they are today. So roaming was kind of them roaming around New York, and the whole cell phone thing came into play, which I thought was fun because I remember those days.
Right. They didn't want to use their cell phone because then they would get roaming charges, which would then be astronomical for them from using a Canadian plan. But that it does come into play in this book.
I mean, in 2009, I just graduated college, so I kind of vibed with them because of that.
And for me, I feel Danny's the main character because if anything went wrong, they ran back to her. But she was the one that was the
level-headed one.
She was the level-headed one and could do things, but then they would get upset if she would just go do stuff on her own because she just got tired of everyone's crap.
Yeah.
She didn't express it, but
yeah, they just left notes for each other because they couldn't call or text each other because of they didn't want to pay roaming charges. So sometimes she would just leave them in their hostel and go venture out on her own.
Yeah.
So.
And this is one of those stories that I think, you probably heard Jaclyn say this before, I don't really get much into real life stories, like things that truly happen, unless it's like a true historical type thing, but like people's lives, just because I've got enough of that in my own. But this is one of those books that is 100%. It's happened, right?
It's realistic. It's relatable.
Yeah, like everything that happened in this book, I guarantee you, it may not have happened to the same three people all at the same time, but I guarantee you, there's been three people who's lived through every aspect of this life.
I know I have.
Right, and so it's 100%.
Especially at that age.
Yeah, so it is 100%.
So they're like 19, I guess. They're probably 19. They're probably 19, like college freshmen.
Yep.
On their first trip alone without, parents or whatever. Right. The first crushes and all that. And
this was probably at the shop. This was probably everyone's pick of the week, but
it was going to be Philip's, but Tess was like, "No, it's mine."
So we all put. Well, yeah, it's fine. Tess won.
It wasn't mine just because I read something else that came out last week.
And you had read this a while ago.
But I have a personalized copy. I win.
And we got to meet the Tamaki, so that was also...
Yeah, waiting in line was...
I also got to meet the Tamakis because I waited till she got up to line, and then I went and joined her. I did not cut line. I just stood there and held books for Jaclyn.
Yeah, they also signed my copy of This One Summer and Skim that they did together. I could have bombarded Mariko with everything else they've done, but I didn't do that.
We did 3 books.
I was trying to be nice.
But Tamakis are as wonderful as one would expect. So.
Yes, they're great.
So it's nice to know that all their books that we have and that we love is Like This One Summer.
Yes, if you like This One Summer or even Red Skin, which is I think even older,
right.
I think you will appreciate this one. Just that slice of life, realistic fiction. The art is simple, but like you still have to pay attention because there's little details in it. It's not like overly complex, but
there's collages.
There's so many details in
like
the
there's
art.
2-page collages in this book of like when Danny's going through the city and it shows that she went and visited this monument or this or anything like that.
This is what it looks like without the dust jacket, but the inside the dust jacket is like a full panoramic.
Right.
And it's a soft cover with a dust jacket, so that's interesting.
Yeah, the printing on this book is actually one of the best sets of printing. It's done a lot like a foreign edition.
Well, if you remember, I'm pretty sure This One Summer was done like this too.
Yeah, it was.
The paperback, not the hardcover.
Yeah, you don't see many American printed books done like this, but you do see a lot of foreign edition books done like this. So
John Corley did a good job.
Yep, they did a great job.
So check out this book. If you would like to order a copy, let us know.
10 out of 10 would read again.
We will definitely pre-order you a copy. It is $34.95 US dollars. So
yeah, we'll probably be keeping one at the shop.
Yeah, we'll probably try to keep one in stock, but that's also not promised. So if you would like one, just let us know. We can order you one. Highly recommend it. So if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't already.
And let us know what other books you would like for us to do in our little way of reviewing.
It's Philip's pick next, so who knows what it'll be.
Who knows? Yeah, might be crazy.
Maybe you can persuade him.
Maybe.
So let us know, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.